So Daniel Jones recently went on the Sims Complete podcast and discussed his expectations for his make or break season. Take a listen.
Do you feel pressure about this is a big year and a team and you and all that? Or is that just something that we talk about that really has nothing to do with what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about that. I think, it's about your work and being prepared and playing well. And, I expect a lot of myself. I expect a lot of the team. And what's going on outside of that is not necessarily something that is going to drive me the same way that just, how well I want to play for myself and for my teammates. And that's kind of what I'm working toward or what I'm motivated by, mostly.
So I would like to know, do you think Daniel Jones will have a bounce-back season after his neck and ACL injury back in last year of 2023?
Well, I think he'll play better than he did last year. But will it be a total bounce-back? Hard to say. I think the Giants, they did go out and get Malik Nabers, but he's going to be a rookie. So that's a little bit of a question mark, whether he'll adapt to the NFL right off and be really good. But that's a potential better piece than Jones has had for several years there in the wide receiver ranks. So that's something that could help him out. The offensive line, will it be any better? That's hard to say too. They did go out and get Smith from the Cowboys, right?
That's the Jets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They got Jermaine Illuminor. They got John Runyon from the Packers.
Okay. So they did try. They did try to get some.
They got Schlottman.
Pieces. Did they draft a lineman?
They did not.
They didn't draft.
They went wide receiver, safety, cornerback, tight end, running back, linebacker.
Yeah. He says he doesn't lack confidence. He expects a lot of himself. Expects a lot of the team as well. What's going on outside is not something that is going to drive him. It's his own goals and trying to play well. He had his worst season in 2023. He's only 27 years old still. He's injury prone, man. He had that neck injury. He's had it twice, and now he had a ACL, which is a serious injury. Saquon Barkley's gone. That's not going to help for sure. The Giants looked up at moving up and to get the quarterback draft to try to get Drake May, and that he went to the Patriots, so they wound up picking Malik Nabers instead from LSU. Jones says that Nabers is fun to watch, and he's had a good spring. He's got the physical tools. He's explosive, and he's got a lot of strength. Jones hasn't thrown much to him because he hasn't been cleared to play yet. But he's running and cutting, and he's doing everything he needs to do. So we'll see what happens. DraftKings has him ranked number 6 as a comeback player in 2024. So remains to be seen.
I think it's telling when a rookie quarterback, and probably, graded wise, the Giants were the worst. But overall, on sacks given up, your rating for your divisional rank is dead last. These are the most updated odds for the NFC East. A rookie quarterback with a horrible offensive line and a defense who lost its top 2 players last year, they're currently rated better than you. And you did all these upgrades. You got Brian Burns. You upgraded your offensive line. You got actually a promising young safety in Tyler Nubin. Apparently, Tyrone Tracy Jr., people love him as a running back. And yet, your odds, and it's not even that close, to be honest with you, in your division rank. You are favored in only 3 of your games. You're underdogs in the other 14. So if we go just based on favorite and then underdog, you go 3-14, which is not great. And that's with an updated offensive line. That's with an addition at receiver with Malik Nabers. You got rid of some of your poor pieces on the offensive line. But I do think, and I don't think a lot of people necessarily agree with me, the Saquon loss is more massive than people are thinking. He's not exactly a replaceable guy. Devin Singletary will not produce at the same level as Saquon. Absolutely not. You lost Xavier McKinney. That's a big loss for you. Tyler Nubin will not come in here and then shock the world with how good he is, because Xavier McKinney was a very, very nice piece. Yes, you upgraded your defensive front. Your defensive 7 is very nice with the addition of Brian Burns. but I don't think he's going to be a game changer because guess what? The offense was your main deficit, a massive deficit at that, without an absolute doubt, without any shadow of a doubt. And Daniel Jones being your quarterback, as you always say, the quarterback handles the ball on every play.
That's right.
And if we remember, he's improved this greatly, although last year we saw, some problems still. He has fumble problems, not seeing the field clearly. Head coach is a firecracker. God forbid Daniel Jones makes a mistake. And he makes some very costly mistakes, like a 97-yard pick six to Devin Witherspoon against the Seahawks. So this offensive line, yes, it is upgraded. And so, like I said, let's bring up the Warren Sharp positional rankings for 2024. Quarterback rating, 28th. Offensive line, 32nd. Wide receiver, 26th. Running back, 31st.
Sure. Pretty bad.
This guy makes thousands of dollars per year betting on games.
Yeah. Okay.
He does actually do some advanced analysis for this. I'm going to trust some rankings, and also I'm going to trust the eye test of Daniel Jones is just not a good quarterback. His best season, the one that made him the $40 million a year, he threw 15 touchdown passes. You want to throw the rushing in there? 22 total touchdowns. And that's $40 million a year for 22 touchdowns in your best season that you didn't even look that good doing. You just played it conservatively.
Well, I think that the Commanders and the Giants will fight it out for last place in the division.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you.
And I agree that the Giants, 3 or 4 games, probably what they're going to win. And, their schedule is not that easy either, right?
Absolutely not. Some of the hardest games that I think are definite losses are the
Dallas twice. Eagles twice.
So that's 4 losses. You play the Ravens, so that's 5. You play Cleveland, which I'm saying is a loss. You play the Bengals, which is a loss.
It's 7.
And then some of the other maybe ones. Buccaneers. There's some difficulty there. Don't.
Do they play the Buccaneers at home or?
Yeah, they are home that game.
Yeah, they might win that. They might be competitive in that one.
How about the Atlanta Falcons?
I don't think they'll beat them. They have Kirk Cousins now. Is
Right.
that at home or away?
That's it away.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win that
Pittsburgh Steelers, they always have a great
game. I don't
defense.
think they'll win that game either.
Right, so we're just adding loss on top of loss on top of loss on top of loss. Then some of the other easier games are definitely the Panthers, the Commanders, although both, the Commanders, once again, we'll bring up the number again, are projected to beat you in the standings, which is a problem. But normally Daniel Jones either beats them or splits with them. The Vikings week 1, Saints week 14, Seahawks week 5. There's a couple of these games where you might be able to pull out a win because, some lackluster quarterback play. You're playing Sam Darnold. You're playing a rookie. Poor offensive line as well with that rookie. The Panthers are just bad straight up. They're just terrible. The Saints, how is Derek Carr going to look under a new offensive system? Who the hell knows? But, 6.5 wins currently is your forecast. I'm probably going to go with the under and say
I'm going
5.
on the under on that.
6-11 again, or maybe 5. And by the way, some of the losses: Xavier McKinney, Adoree Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor, by the way, was the best quarterback in the Giants system last year. Yes, Tommy DeVito had a couple nice games. I think it was a 3-game winning streak. It was great. But if you do the eye test of how Tyrod Taylor moved the ball down the field, you could see that Tyrod Taylor is the better quarterback, was the better quarterback last year for the Giants. So and also the big one, Daniel Jones is hurt. He's injury prone. He hasn't, like you said, even been cleared to play football. He said he's doing everything he can, running, stretching, moving, cutting, all of that.
I'd say if the Giants are under 5 wins, Dabo's gone. I think he'll be out. I think they'll fire him.
I think that there is a chance where
Bill Belichick's out there. I think the Giants would
Eagles
mind
apparently are also interested in
the Giants. He's interested in the Giants.
But also,
I think the
Eagles are interested in Belichick
Giants
too.
fans remember Bill Belichick from the Super Bowl years, and I think that both winning and losing, right? He won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. He lost 2 trying to beat them. So
right.
I think they love him for both. So I think that Belichick would love to come back to the Giants, and I think that the Giants fans, if they have a 4-win season, would love to have him.
I think Malik Nabers is a great pickup because they needed a wide receiver that was undisputable. Let's take a look at their offensive unit. By the way, we're saying that this is like an 8-9 win team. We're saying that this is a playoff team. We're saying that if these guys are healthy, they're going to take you to a playoff run. All due respect, no. Like, Malik Nabers is going to be a good receiver, hands down. He is a very, very talented receiver. There was a question or not whether or not he should go above Marvin Harrison Jr. on draft day.
They blew it when they got Darren Waller.
We're actually going to hear tonight
he was there
on the
1 year. He was hurt most of the time, and then he retired.
Although they used the draft pick they got from the Kadarius Toney trade on him, so they didn't lose anything of their own per se. Because when they traded Kadarius Toney for, I think, a third-round pick, they used that for Darren Waller.
For Darren Waller, yeah.
But
well, they could have used it for somebody else.
Probably. Devin Singletary will not give you 1,400 yards. He won't give you 1,200 yards.
Or the catches, too.
Yeah, he won't give you the passing production. Darius
Plus,
Slate,
you got to play against Saquon Barkley twice. He's going to smoke you both times.
He's going to be hungry, absolutely. So this schedule is very difficult because you do play some top teams. Yes, and the Steelers, their defense always shapes up to be at least very acceptable. They might not be a top 10 defense. They might not be a top 5 defense, but TJ Watt's still going to get double-digit sacks if he's healthy. We're going to see Minkah Fitzpatrick still intercept a couple balls away from you. We're going to see Alex Highsmith perform very well at the linebacker spot. There are a couple pieces there where you're like, okay, well, I still got to worry about that. And behind the offensive line, that, yes, okay, they upgraded it slightly, but they didn't get any big-time name guys. They didn't get anybody who's really that great. Runyon, not that great. Illuminor, not really that great. John Michael Schmitz was literally graded the worst center in the NFL last season. So I don't know if this team is going to improve drastically. Last year, they were 6-11. Are we, like, what is the expectation here? Give me a number. Give me something to work with. Do you think they'll win 8 games, 9 games? Are they a double-digit win team? Because I don't think anybody, honestly. So Giants, I think the majority of Giants fans, as any fan of any team, is super hopeful. Like, for instance, what would you hope the Patriots' record is this year?
If they won 5 games, I'd be.
You're saying
5 or 6. I guess if they won 6 games, I'd be surprised.
I said that they win 6 games. Because I'm realistic here. We got a rookie quarterback.
I'd be surprised if they win 6.
You'd be surprised they win 6 games, right. But I think, and I've heard it directly, a lot of people think that this is a playoff contender or very near it. 8
the Patriots?
No, not the Giants.
The Giants?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
It's because they're in New York.
Right.
People like to, like to suck up to New York teams.
This is my point. This is my point. And I think it could be because the NFC is inferior to the AFC. If the Giants were an AFC team, there is nobody saying that they're above the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Browns, the Chargers, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying the Giants are better than any of those teams. They have no shot in the AFC. But it's the NFC. So you got to bridge a gap between Bears, Packers, Rams, Seahawks, Falcons, Buccaneers. You got to weave through some average to good teams. Not teams that should be consistent playoff contenders, but because they play in a conference where basically 10 of the teams you could say are vying for a playoff spot.
I'd say the NFC teams upgraded themselves in this past offseason.
Because they're so bad, they get high draft picks.
Yeah, they got good draft picks, and they also, you look at Atlanta, they picked up Kirk Cousins.
I think that's a massive pickup. So the Giants play Kirk Cousins in week 16.
Yeah.
And that's at Atlanta, which I think could be I don't know exactly. I think not domination. I think they're going to lose. Because the defense is not that bad.
The
offensive line for the Falcons is great. Bijan Robinson.
The defense might keep the Giants in a number of games.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these moves make it seem like they're going for like 13-7 wins, something like that. We're talking early 2000s.
14-10.
Yeah, stuff like that. Because this offense, the production level, it's your quarterback. And I brought this up last time. When Daniel Jones throws 25 times or more, they're 17-33-1. When Saquon rushed for 50 yards or more, they were 22-28-1. We see a pattern here. Give the ball to your running back. Yeah. It helps you out massively.
And if you can get the running game going, the play action pass is there for you.
Absolutely. Now, what's sad is the unit spending for the Giants is basically 66% offense, 33% defense. And I think if you were to look at this team, you would say the defense is probably superior to the offense.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're telling me you're spending 66% of a lesser unit, find better players. At that point, that's the problem with the Giants. Have they ever hit the full reset button? I feel like they haven't. They've always tried to stay alive. They made the playoffs in 2016 with Eli Manning.
Because they're in New York. They're in New York.
They've never, like, for instance, the Jets have tried consistently to try Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. Now they're on to Aaron Rodgers. They have bottomed out several times, and I think, honestly, that's not them trying. That's just circumstance. They thought Sam Darnold was the guy. They thought Zach Wilson was the guy, and that wasn't the case. Adam Gase, head coach, horrible. They tried. The Giants have always tried to stay relevant.
I'd say the Jets, though, their main reason for losing has been the quarterback position.
Yes.
And maybe wide receiver they haven't had a lot. Garrett Wilson's really been their best receiver.
They went 7-10 with Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, and Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
7-10, and you're saying Aaron Rodgers can't improve that by at least?
Oh no,
3 wins?
I'm saying that the quarterback has been the problem the last 3 years.
Exactly.
They probably would have, if they'd had a good quarterback the last 3 years, they might have made the playoffs every year.
I could completely agree with that. So for me, the Giants are looking at a 5-12. If they get a lucky win here or there, 6-11 repeat of last year. But I do think there is pressure. There should be pressure because Daniel Jones is injury prone, not able to perform very well, and just all around. I mean, think about it. Some people were criticizing me for not putting him in my top 10 list at the beginning of last year after a 15 passing touchdown season. He's not a top 10 quarterback. Tell me what top 10 quarterback has 22 total touchdowns. You're not going to find it because no top 10 quarterback, top 15 quarterback has 22 total touchdowns. Just doesn't happen. So he goes into this season. He should look a little bit better than 1-5 or whatever his record was. He should look a little bit better. Should not have, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions? But we don't know. We've seen one good season. He got paid and he regressed back to pre-contract, pre-2022 Daniel Jones. It should look better. Upgrade offensive line. Got a true wide receiver now. Darren Waller's loss, I think, is going to be bigger. Daniel Bellinger's okay, but he's not someone who's going to be like, oh my God, this is the next George Kittle. This is the next Travis Kelce. This is the next Mark Andrews. Even Isaiah Likely, I would probably take over Daniel Bellinger. So we'll have to see. But for me, 5-12 sounds about right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.